Hi, my name is Reverend Rosemary Dalton. I have talked to a lot of you. I'm friends with a lot of you. I'm on Everlasting Spiritual Awareness page as well. I'm all over the place on social network. And I have shared my story everywhere. So now I'm going to visually and show you what I mean. It's not just a story. I have the proof, and I'm going to show you what I have. The story started September 10th, 1997. That's the day in question. This is the day that this incident all happened and everything else like that. My son was 2.5 years old. You guys have read my story about the doctor and all that, about the arm being broken. You know, and the doctor came back and said all step-parents break. You know, all step-parents are abusive. And I can't agree with that. You know, that's stereotyping, and that just doesn't make sense. How can all step-parents be abusive? Not all step-parents beat their stepchildren. I've had step-parents, and I love my step-parents. And step-parents are not like that all the time. I mean, maybe in some cases, but not in my case. So, when the doctor told me this, I was like, okay. I was in shock. My son had a broken arm. He's telling me it's a spiral fracture, and I'm like, how? You know, I'm like freaking out, going, how? You know, and he's telling me it's only done by abuse. There's no bruises. There's none of that. And so I'm still asking how. Well, the doctor convinced me it was abuse. So I called the police. And I have a big, thick police report. For child abuse. See? Child abuse. I am the what? Reporting party. Rosemary Dalton. Go figure. I'm the one that called the cops. I asked the police to press charges on my husband because apparently he's abusing my child. Okay. That's what they told me. I don't know nothing. He's abusing my child. They went through and they did all kinds of stuff. They looked through police calls, the department, did medical, they did everything. But you know what? At the very end of their investigation, that's what I'm trying to get to, they came to one ruling. I'm looking for it. There it is. This was the decision they made. Exceptionally cleared. See? Child abuse. Exceptionally cleared. The prosecutor, see? See? So, I didn't lie. Exceptionally cleared. See it? For child abuse. There was none. None whatsoever. There wasn't a single. And I mean single. Nothing. There was nothing. Nothing at all. So, with that, I was at the police department there. I went through hell. I fought. They denied my father. My father tried to get my child. Didn't happen. They denied him. And there was no reason. He was a foster parent. There was no reason. He was a foster parent in another state. That's why. I was under advisement. This was my lawyer. I tore up things trying to get phone numbers. But this was the letter. Even has a signature on it. But he quit on me. That you might consider a follow-up affidavit to when and why did you conclude that Brandon was prejudiced against you. Okay. And he told me that I need to proceed in Wisconsin because that was my best option, which I did that. Then he quit on me. Okay. You guys know what this is. This is a service plan. Findings of the court. There was none. They made my husband leave and all that. But what's the most interesting place? This is what I wanted to show. Is here in this paper, this document. Box 19. Mother of the juvenile is not ordered to pay maintenance for support. You see that? The mother is not, again repeat, not ordered. But if you look at box number 7, which is up here, State of Missouri, see it's checked, State of Missouri to pay cost of maintenance for foster care. And this was signed by the judge. So I was not court ordered to pay that at all. Okay. They said my husband was a drug addict. Negative. I had the same one. Negative. I fought every tooth and nail. I did. I did everything I could. When I went to court, I tried several times. And I've even filed this. And what it says is, only after ruling against respondent on April 28th without any evidence adduced therein, did advocate conclude that the Honorable Commissioner Brandon is prejudiced against respondent to the extent that the respondent may not have a fair trial therebefore. Respondent filed her affidavit and motion within 30 days thereafter. The first one says the advocate cooperates by reference each and every allegation of her May 14th advocate, and the motion to disqualify is fully set out herein. So I tried. I mean, I really fought tooth and nail. Then my appellant, memo of appellant Dalton response to the court's order date June 24th, 1998. There will be elements in which both civil and criminal elements appear. City of Springfield versus Weathermex 846 S period W period 2D 206, 207. Missouri.app.sd. 1992. State X Rel Jarboe versus Holt. You know, and it says appellant Dalton is entitled to either case to have the facts and circumstances constituting the opposite offenses must be recited, and particularly both the judgment of contempt and the order of contentment. The particularly must be such a reviewing court can be determined the facts and circumstances concerning the offense from the judgment itself, without resorting to the intendment, interference, or presumption. The rule of strict construction favors of contempt, because the instance of a law for the strict procedure of criminal contempt is counterpoised by the imbalances. Arise applying before the courts April 20th, she is entitled to due process rights, which include being able to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Chemical fireproofing versus Broska in the remarriage of Hunt. Since for this purpose, appellant Dalton does not consist of family court jurisdiction over her, prohibition may not be a proper procedural remedy herein. And then I was denied my appeal. They said I wasn't allowed due process. None. So I tried again to get the judge to disqualify himself because of prejudice. And several of these. Motion to Respondent Dalton to verdict acquittal. Comes now, Respondent Dalton states follow that March 12, 1998, the juvenile filed an order to show cause in paragraph 9 in which the alleged respondent violated Vols 210-421. Respondent submits that neither is in the order or complying motion for contempt verified. Further, respondent submits that there is no such section as VAMS 210-421. Respondent in a contempt case is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Respondent is legally unsophisticated, and the October 20th, 1997 findings of the Commissioner, which purpose violations the juvenile officer alleged contempt, is unsigned by respondent, with no particularity to what respondent should do when William Dalton Sr. appears, and does not prohibit respondent from visiting her father with Michael. Only for the sake of argument, if respondent conducted is wrong in the light of legal hindsight, a party ought to be held in contempt simply because the party's understanding, although arguably reasonable, was legally incorrect. Payne versus Payne. So I really tried, because I didn't sign anything. Throughout this entire proceeding, I didn't sign nothing. Nothing at all. I refused. And we asked for all of it. Lawyer knew I was in Wisconsin. Lawyer told me to go to Wisconsin. Lawyer advised it. And I got thrown in contempt for it. And that I did. I got a 30-day sentence for it. Here's my appeal, which was denied. Appellant submits pursuant VAMS 512-120 that the parties can argue the following questions were decided by the Honorable Trial Court. Then on March 12, 1998, juvenile officer filed an order to show cause against appellant Dalton, alleging violations of VAMS 210-421. The appellant somehow knowingly disobeyed an order of a trial court without any evidence of appellant's understanding or intent. The appellant should not be punished with contempt for allegedly negligently disobeying the order of trial. So I tried everything for a verdict of acquittal. I tried getting an acquittal. I tried doing all that. I tried getting all this taken care of. It didn't work. Nothing worked. Here's TPR. See, this is the TPR. Let's see. Here's what people says it can't happen. Right here. There was no evidence that presented by the mother suffered from a mental condition. That was Block A. Block B. There was no evidence presented for Rosemary and Dolph suffering from chemical. You see it? Chemical dependency. That was that one. That's that sheet. So I'm going to go to the third page. There was no evidence presented that there was Rosemary Dalton, and what it says is, there was no evidence presented that the respondent mother, Rosemary Ann Dalton, has committed any severe or reoccurring acts of physical, emotional, or sexual abuse towards the children or any child in the family. Interesting, huh? There was no evidence of any drugs. There was no evidence of any abuse. There was no evidence of anything. And it says it in my TPR. And I'm the mother. My husband is nowhere on my file. Nowhere. There's not a single name of my husband anywhere on this. Nothing. Not one single court document is my husband's name on. Not one. So this is all on me. Now it says, there was evidence that William Dalton may have committed a severe act of physical or emotional abuse towards the child under circumstances indicating that the respondent mother, Rosemary Ann Dalton, knew or should have known the act. I did, huh? I called the cops. I did everything I was supposed to do as a mother. Everything I was supposed to do. It ain't my fault the police ruled in his favor. It isn't my fault that they did such an exceptional, and I mean exceptional, investigation. That they exceptionally cleared him. That isn't my fault. So they exceptionally cleared him. There is no evidence of any type of abuse at all. They put in the reports that I'm in denial, that I'm fighting them because I won't agree. I didn't agree through the entire proceedings. And because I did not acknowledge my husband has a problem with hitting, that there was a possibility he could have hit, that there was a possibility that he broke my son's arm, I didn't need my son. Okay. So now we got to those parts. Now I'm going to flip through and I'm going to get to the part where it says the reason why they terminated. That's this sheet. There's 4 blocks. The child has some emotional ties to Rosemary Ann Dalton. The child has no ties to name or unknown fathers of child. Okay. Respondent has failed to maintain regular visits or other contacts with the child. That's because they denied me. They wouldn't let me have my visits. So I wasn't allowed no visits. They used that against me. I fought every tooth and nail. I even wrote letters. Certified letters. I got certified cards that with their signature on it. And letters that I begged them to let me see my baby. And they refused. Respondent, although financially able, have failed to contribute to the cost of care and maintenance for the child. Whoa, wait a minute. Didn't the document I showed you not long ago say I wasn't court ordered? I wasn't ordered to do so. The state of Missouri was. Based upon evidence presented, the court finds that there was reasonable cause to believe that the additional services would not be likely to bring the lasting adjustment the respondent mother so as to enable to return to the child to her within an accessible period of time. Further, the additional services would not be likely to bring the lasting adjustment to the respondent father so they enable to return to the child. Respondent mother is disinterested or lacks commitment to the child, and the respondent father is disinterested and like, really? You want to know how much they paid my lawyer to sit on her butt and do nothing? $4,537.50. Do you know how much they paid the GAL? It's right here in my papers. $2,700. And that is not a set rate. That is something that was written by the judge. Interesting, huh? Now, remind you, I didn't get any due process in any of this. And there was no evidence for any of this to happen. And I wasn't court ordered, but yet they still found grounds. So it can happen to you. This is the interesting part. My trial for my TPR was June 20th, 2000. June 4, 2000, the judge ordered it. June 20th, 2000, the commissioner signed it. This paper was filed on the 21st day of then. I did not get any copies of this paper. They said, oh, on the 21st, they'll mail it. Well, you're not supposed to mail anything. You're supposed to give it to the copy right then and there. They sent it to the wrong address. I never got a copy. I went and got these documents on this date. 12/12/2013. See? That's the last page of my TPR. I mean, it goes in pretty good detail of what it is, but like I said, this case is big. And there's more to it. I mean, there's lies. They said there was all these police calls coming to my house, but the police report says something totally different. It said it goes to, I was living in a duplex, and they couldn't decide if it was coming from my house or my neighbor's house. Well, my neighbor had an 18-year-old teenage son that kept beating the hell out of her, and the cops kept getting called there all the time. And they kept being 911 calls that were hung up. That wasn't me. But they couldn't decide what apartment it came from, so they just put it in my report. And it stays in there. But according to the DFS, those incidents were coming from my house. And they used it against me. And I can contradict what they said. Or they twisted it up. Then they started saying I did drugs. And what I did when I was a kid, I did marijuana. I smoked a little pot when I was 14 years old. 14, 15, 16 years old. That shouldn't have no bearing on before I was even an adult, let alone before I became a parent. What has that got to do with any of this? You know? Then they used my rape against me. They used that against me. Because I was a habitual liar. But even though I have documents to prove that. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, I have stacks of papers. More and more papers. More and more papers than you can possibly think of. And orders. You know, and they put them in documents. This one's interesting. You know, it says that I refused to do any of that stuff. And this one says that there was disturbing calls, 911 hang-ups, and threatening telephone calls and burglary report. Well, the burglary report was mine. My house got broken into, so they're going to use a burglary report against me. The other ones came from my neighbor, which was in apartment B. I was apartment A, they were apartment B, and the cops never told them anything. It's in my police report. So, me and my husband didn't really have any more, we didn't have any disturbances. We didn't do anything. We were young parents. We were young kids that were just coming into the world and everything else like that. Now, I've contacted everyone. I've gotten so many of these letters. This one, President of the United States. I got letters from the DJO. I got letters from the senators. I mean, so I have this documents. I am telling you the truth. This stuff is really happening. These kids are being taken with no evidence, no nothing. And they're still taking their babies. Well, if you're not going to stand up with me, my family isn't signing my petition because they don't want to get involved. Really? You don't want to get involved. You lived this with me. You lived this case with me, and you blamed me. You're going to tell me you're not going to sign? Come on now. I have documented proof. There was no grounds whatsoever to take my child. None. Just a bunch of lies. Just a bunch of hearsay. But my TPR states it. And I don't know how many other people have that in their TPRs. But mine does. I have documented proof. And not the media, not anyone will take my story. Really? Nobody will hear me because I'm not a high profile case. Nobody will talk to me about nothing. Fine. This is what social media is for. This is what YouTube's for. This is what Tumblr's for. This is what Facebook is for. You don't want to put my story out there. You don't want to hear me. You don't want to see my documents. You don't want to see the God's honest truth about what this system is doing to the families. Then fine. You don't have to. I have my own press pass. I can be my own media. I'll put it out there. And you can't stop me. You cannot stop me from doing it. I'm going to open my mouth. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to say this is wrong. I know my rights. It's been 17 years. Fraud upon the court has been committed here. I have no statute of limitations on fraud upon the court. They lied. They lied. They stole my child. They kidnapped my child. That's kidnapping. They had no right to take my child. No rights whatsoever. It's inhumane. It breaks natural law. Natural law. And don't say natural law don't exist, because it does under the 14th Amendment. And you will find them under 42 U.S.C. 1983. The 14th Amendment clearly states under the family law that no child shall be removed from his birth mother without absolute proof of abuse or absolute proof of immediate harm. Well, if there's no evidence, how can you take them? If I'm exceptionally clear from any abuse, how can you keep them? You can't. Saying all statute of limitations, I can't do. If I sue, I can't get you criminally. I get justice. I will get justice. I will get justice for me. I will get justice for every single person out there, because my case is that strongly documented, and I have enough documentation that if you even think about destroying my file, I still have enough to persecute you. I still have enough to prosecute you. I still have enough to hang you by your toes. I have enough by stacks and stacks of papers with all this that can blow the whistle completely. But do you guys care? Do you really? How many babies are being stolen? Do you know how many kids are in foster care in the nation? 400,000. Do you know, according to Professor Isham, on statistics alone, 1 out of 18 children that are actually removed are actually abused. The other 17 are from loving homes. The only reason they were taken is because they were poor. They were on Medicaid. They were on food stamps. They were on Social Security. They needed assistance. They're from a poor background. If you do not have $10,000 in the bank just sitting there, you are a target. If you are on any kind of government assistance, you're a target. If you are young, you are a target. Protect your babies. Learn your rights. Protect your children. Stand up, speak up, and don't let this happen no more. Your grandbabies are at stake. Your future is at stake. Everything that there is at stake. And you're sitting by doing nothing? Your tax dollars is paying for this, and you do nothing. And I mean nothing. What are you doing? You're voting for these people in. You are sitting here putting your tax dollars out and voting for these criminals, and you're doing nothing. Are you standing up? Are you speaking up? Are you standing out there? Are you uniting with the people that need you? Your children, your grandchildren, your entire future is at stake. You're a target. We are all targets. Remember our history lessons. The Nazis did this too. Remember, they stole children all the time. They make money on these kids. They have a money incentive program. Bill Clinton signed it in 1997. This started all the way back in 1974 in the Mondrum Act. Looking at Professor Isham's reports and everything else, he's been doing this and covering it for about 40 years. And I'm telling you, this stuff is real. This stuff isn't fake. This isn't, just because they got involved, that means those are bad parents. No, there really are an organized crime that is kidnapping your children. And you're sitting here letting them do it. I was only 19 years old and I didn't know nothing. Nothing. Stop. Stand up. Learn your rights. Protect your babies. Protect your neighbor's babies. Protect your neighbor across the street's babies. Protect your niece's babies. Protect everybody you know's babies. Do not, and I mean do not, give in. We are the people. We are most powerful in numbers. We need to stand together. And I mean stand. But do you listen? Can we get your attention? Because I got my attention. I've been working on this for 17 years. Trying to find a way to get justice. I can get justice. You can get justice. Every child that has been legally taken illegally and kidnapped from their parents and harmed by the system can get justice. The children are not just victims. So are the families. We need justice. Do you hear me? We need justice. We need you to get up off your butts and sign our petitions. Stand up with us. Do what is right. We need you guys to do what's right and protect our babies. I didn't do anything wrong at all. They only took one of my children. Only one. I had 2 other children. One. They said I was a bad mom for that one, but I was a good mom for my other children. That isn't even logically acceptable in society. If you're a bad mom, then you're a bad mom. If you abuse your children, then you abuse your children and they get removed. But you don't leave the other children there and only take one. That's just not right. Wake up, America. Wake up. You guys all need to wake up. Your children are in desperate need and are in danger. Every parent's worst nightmare is fixing to knock on their door. Stop. Know your rights. Fight for them. I showed you documents that they took my child with no evidence. None. They terminated my rights and adopted out with no evidence at all. None. All you have to do is learn your rights. Educate your children. Teach them their rights. Protect your grandchildren. Family unity is what we need. We are all family from the human kingdom. And this is an evil that is across the world that is unacceptable. It is cruel and it's torture, and this is just not right. God bless every one of you. Bless you. God bless you. Mote it be. Blessed be. Whatever entity you want to say, I'm telling you, even from the atheist point of view, this is not right. This is inhumane. And we need all of you to stand up and fight for what's right. Babies need to be protected, and only we can protect them. We, the people, stand up and fight and unite with one another. We need your voice. We need to be heard. Our cries are out there loud and clear. Listen to these moms. They're crying for help. They need you. They need to know that you care. We need to know. Is the planet this inhumane that is so cruel that you had to steal our God-given right to bear our children, to raise them? You may not have ever experienced the cruelty, the mental anguish, the devastation this causes. But hear me. I went through this for 17 years. I lived it not knowing where my child was. Been labeled as cruel monster, but yet I could still foster other children. I could do all kinds of things. I wasn't even labeled in the court system. But my child was gone. And I lost so many years with him. He found me. And he came home after I showed him my papers. He came home. And now he's with me. And I will be posting his side of the story. Because it's not right. It's not right what these kids have to go through. It's not right what families have to go through. It's not right that nobody cares and not one person will stand up and say, this ain't right. And vote these idiots out that's causing it. When will it be enough? When? What will it take for you to stand up and unite for family? Don't any of you love your family? Don't any of you feel the need to have to protect them? Standing up with these families that have been tortured, devastated, is your key to protect your loved ones from this ever happening to them. You don't have to believe me or them by what we tell you. But I have documents, and I showed you documents signed by judges. Signed by them, saying there was no evidence of anything. Nothing. A police report says that we were exceptionally cleared of any child abuse. And I still lost my baby. For what? Because of money. Money. Our tax dollars stole my child. So all that money I put in our system, all my taxes, stole my baby. Your money stole my baby. Every one of you that have worked in the United States that pay taxes had a hand in stealing my baby. Your money did it. So shouldn't you all stand up and fight for what's right and undo this wrong? Shouldn't you? Unite with the families. Fight against the corruption. Stand with all of us. We need your help. We need your voice. We need you to say no more. This is worse than slavery. This is as big as slavery. This has been going on for way too long. And for every one of you to sit here with a blind eye is wrong of you. How can you live with yourself? How? Answer that. How can you live with yourself knowing the truth? That the court systems and the government is stealing babies for profit and ripping families apart and destroying them and torturing them with no evidence of anything. How can you sit there and live with yourself knowing your tax dollars are doing this? I send my love, and I forgive every one of you. And I will always keep forgiving, because the love I have for mankind I know in my heart that every one of you will do the right thing. Every one of you will stand up. And every one of you are going to say, no more. No more. Our tax dollars will not steal our babies no more. You will not hurt another family. And it's going to take every single one of us to do this. We as parents can't do it, not by ourselves. We have to unite with one another. I showed you documents. Even if you didn't get to read, it said it. I showed it. Believe the documents. It's real. And families across the nation, around the world, are going through this torture. It is the most unnatural thing there is. This is inhumane. Families shouldn't be like this. Our babies aren't cattle. There shouldn't be a price dollar on our children's backs. Who's to decide which one's adoptable and which one's not? I love my children with everything that I am. I will do anything and everything for them. And I will not stop this fight. I will fight this until the day I die, and even beyond that, beyond my grave, I will fight this. Because I have documents. And my documents will be all over the place. And hopefully, someone will hear me. Hopefully, someone will help me. My name is Reverend Rosemary Dalton. You'll find me on Facebook. Rosemary Dalton on Facebook. I also have a page, spiritual page called Everlasting Spiritual Awareness Group. I'm in this for the keeps. I'm in this for good. I'm in this till the end. I am not stopping this fight. I am going to fight. I am a doer. I'm not a talker. And I am going to get this job done. I am going to get people to listen. Fight with me. Stand with me. Unite with me. Undo this wrong. Because that's the right thing to do. Bless you all. I send my love. Have a happy new year.